Hello. Yes. So I welcome all the first PUC students to the next session of units and dimensions. In the previous sessions, all of you learned units, dimensions. In the last session, we were doing the uses of dimension analysis. We have seen the two uses. One is how to convert one system of units to another, how to check the correctness of a physical equation. We saw through examples. We learned. In this session, we shall move to the next use of dimensional analysis or dimensional equations. This use is another very important use because we can derive the relation between the dependent physical quantities. We can derive the equation itself. Okay? On what factors? If you know the factors on which a physical quantity depends, we can derive the relation itself. Therefore, it is a very important use. So, we shall see that. So, first we should know how a physical quantity depends on other. A physical quantity x is directly proportional to square root of another physical quantity y. We will write like this, that is y power half. Okay? Now, another quantity, the dimension of this physical quantity is half. Other quantity, and in another equation, x is directly proportional to y. X may be inversely proportional to y. Here the dimension is negative. X is directly proportional to square of the y, other physical quantity. X is directly proportional to, so 1 by y square, or inversely proportional to square of the other physical quantity. This is how one physical quantity depends on the another. Suppose if I write kinetic energy equals half mv square, here energy is directly proportional to mass, that kinetic energy. Energy is directly proportional to square of the velocity. This is how the physical, these two are dependent, these two are dependent. So therefore we can derive these kind of relations using dimensional analysis. This is the framework you should have in your mind. Okay, so first we shall take up the first example. This T means time period of oscillation. The time period of oscillation of a simple pendulum. So what is a simple pendulum? Simple pendulum is something like this. This is a simple pendulum. You see, a bob is tied to a string. The string is fixed at other end, that is called torsion. If I displace this bob from its mean position, it will execute oscillations. The time taken, this is called extreme position, that is called extreme position. The time taken for one complete oscillation is called time period. You see? That time taken for one oscillation is called time period. That depends on what factor? It depends on the length of the pendulum. It depends on the acceleration due to gravity at that place. Acceleration due to gravitational force, this acceleration. So at that place. Okay? So I can express that relation. This time period of oscillation depends on, I don't know whether it is directly proportion or inversely proportion. I will call that as x. That x is to be found. If I know the value of x, and if I know the value of y, thereby I can write the relation very clearly. The acceleration due to gravity depends on length power x, acceleration due to gravity power y. X and y are the dimensions of these two, they are to be found. Okay? Now if I remove this proportionality signature by introducing a constant, this constant is a dimensionless constant. It has no dimensions. That means m0, l0, t0 is the dimensions of this constant. So if I substitute dimensions for this physical equation to be correct. What is the condition? According to principle of homogeneity, the dimensions of this term, right side term and left side term, should be same. Dimensional formula of LHS and RHS should be same. So applying that condition, so according the dimensional formula of LHS and RHS should be same. If I substitute dimensions of left side, this means time period of oscillation. Time period means time. The dimensional formula of time is m0, L0, T1, T power 1. That is, K is dimensionless, L means length, L power x, then G means acceleration. What is the dimensional formula of acceleration? LT minus 2. In the previous class you know. LT minus 2 meter per second square raised to power y. These things. If I simplify the right side, then left side is this much. If I simplify, m power 0, there is no m. It is dimension of m is 0. L, here 0 is here x, here y. Therefore, L power x plus y. Similarly, t power minus 2y. For this equation to be correct, what should be the condition? The dimension of mass here and here should be same. Here 0, here also 0. Here is 0, here is x plus y. Therefore, x plus y should be 0. Then here is 1, here is minus 2y. Therefore, minus 2y should be equal to 1. Therefore, y equals minus half. So, from this equation, x equals minus y. If I substitute minus half, minus into minus becomes plus. Therefore, x becomes plus half. Finally, if I substitute these x and y values in this equation, what I can write? The time period of oscillation equals k into L power half, G power minus half. So, this k value is found to be equal to 2 pi. If I make an experiment, if I conduct an experiment, the k value is found to be 2 pi. If I substitute that, then if I simplify this further, I can write L by G power half. That power half is nothing but root. Finally, the time period of oscillation is given by 2 pi root of L by G. Okay? Here, so these are all the merits of dimensional equations. Okay? So what is the demerit? What is the limitation? The value of k cannot be found. This cannot be found. So to find this dimensionless constant, I should go for the experiment. I should know the value to find this relation. That is a limitation of dimensional analysis. So therefore, if I know, if dimensional analysis is able to give this value also, I will be still more happier. Directly I would have been given this equation itself. That is why, so the value of proportionality constant cannot be found is a limitation of dimensional analysis. Okay? Then, with this, similarly we shall move for another example. So, in which the frequency of vibration of a stretched string, you see, that means the frequency of vibration. Let us move to the next example. That is the frequency of vibration of a stretched string. You see, the frequency of vibration of a stretched string. The string will vibrate like this. The time taken for one vibration is called time period. The number of vibrations per second is called frequency. That frequency of vibration of a stretched string. You have all these things again in the future course of study. Depends on the length of the string. Second one, tension. it depends on this length. Then tension. Tension means the force acting on the string. The force acting on the string is called tension. Tension means force. Then third one, it depends on mass per unit length. You see? So mass of the string per unit length. Mass by length. That is mass per unit length. 1 meter of the strings weighs how much mass? That is called mass per unit length. It is also called linear density. That is called linear density of the string. Okay? So this frequency depends on these three factors. Again, if I remove this proportionality signature by introducing a dimensionless constant, I will get this equation. If I substitute dimensions, the dimensional equation of frequency means reciprocal of time period, st goes to numerator with -1. The unit of frequency is per second or hertz. Okay. So the dimensional formula of frequency is m0 L0 t minus 1. K is dimensionless. Length L power x. Tension, T means tension, it is not time here. Tension means force. Force means mass into acceleration. That is mlt minus 2. Small m means mass by length. Therefore ml minus 1 raised to power z. If I simplify this using laws of indices, here m power 0, here m power y, here m power z. Therefore m power y plus z. Then L power 0, L power x, L power y, L power minus z. Finally L power x plus y minus z. Then t power, we have t only here, minus 2y. Comparing the dimensions of time, here it is minus 1, here it is minus 2y. Therefore y equals minus goes half. Comparing the dimensions of mass, y plus z equals 0, then z equals minus y. If I substitute this, I will get minus half. Then similarly, comparing the dimensions of length is 0. Dimension of length is x plus y plus minus z. If I substitute for y and z, what I will get? X, y is half, z is minus half. Minus of minus is plus, half plus half is 1. This is 0 equals x plus 1. If I take this to the left hand side, it becomes x equals minus 1. So knowing all the three values of x, y and z, if I substitute them, the k value, by experiment again is found to be half. Then the value of k is half. L power x value is minus 1. T power y is half. Then z, m power z is minus half. If I simplify this further, it will become this frequency of vibration of a stretched string is given by 1 by 2L into root of T by m, tension mass per unit length. So this is how fine it is. So without knowing anything, using this simple thoughts, dimension analysis itself, we can derive this kind of equations. So similarly, you can derive some more equations. So make your effort to understand better. So now, you see, So limitations of dimension analysis. So on one side we will see the use, on the other side, so we will say the limitations. Limitations means our expectation is not completely fulfilled. We will expect still more. That is why we will term them as limitations. Okay? The first one is the value of proportionality constant cannot be found. The second one is if left side is monomial and right side is also monomial, then only we can use this. If the equations involving like this v equals u plus at are, so if it involves some log x, something like that, this kind of, if something u is equal to sine theta by g, something like these kind of equations. The equations involving binomials and logarithmic functions or trigonometric functions, such equations cannot be derived. You see? So this is the limitations of dimensional analysis. Okay? So these are the different uses of dimensional equations. Learn all these things. So we shall have one more session. So we shall interact. We shall see some more things regarding dimensional analysis and units and dimensions. Please send your questions. Please go through. So the material, so the notes what we have given, you will understand better. So then after this, in Zoom classes, we have commenced. So scalars and vectors, that knowledge is very important. So study all those things. After knowing all these things, so we shall move to the next topic. In the next session, again we shall see units and dimensions. Thank you.